Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have a little bit different of a video for you today, but I thought it would be fun to try this out and share my experience with you guys. So I have decided to wake up at 5 a.m. for one whole week. So that means getting up at the crack of dawn, usually before the sun rises, to try out this experiment. Today I just want to talk about my experiment of waking up at 5 a.m. every single day. Now, I'm just like every other human and I like to have a lion. So thumbs up if you also like having a lion. But you know what I quickly realized? I realized that waking up at 5 a.m. is so much more time for myself. And I realized also that when you wake up at 5 a.m., no one bothers you. So if you like to have a little bit more time for yourself and you just don't feel like you have enough time during the day, keep watching this video on how I give you guys my tips and tricks on how to wake up at 5 a.m. So aside from waking up earlier to have more time for myself, I did read in quite a few articles that waking up earlier actually is something that most successful people do and a lot of the world's billionaires and CEOs do. So I thought if I gave it a shot, maybe I'd have more time to pursue some of the things I love doing, like making YouTube videos for you guys or just reading or other things like that. Anyways, I won't say it was easy and I won't say that, I particularly enjoyed it, but I do think that it had a lot of benefits and I'm gonna go ahead and share that in my video today. To make this video easier to follow, I'm actually going to break it down into 3 different parts and I'm gonna list the parts on the screen right now, and I'm also gonna list them down in the comments below so you have timestamps to skip around if you are interested in different parts of this video. So the first part of the video is gonna be why did I decide to try this experiment? My second part is actually gonna go over tips and tricks on how you can actually wake up early in the morning and get up for 5 a.m. And then the final part of the video will actually be sharing if I'm going to continue waking up at 5 a.m. Do I see a bigger calling? Do I actually want to wake up at 5 a.m. from now on out now that I've tried it for a week? Anyways, I'm going to stop blabbering on and I'm going to go ahead and continue on into my journey of waking up at 5 a.m. for a week. If you are new and you're seeing me for the first time, do consider subscribing. I am a small YouTuber and I do share tips and tricks like this on my YouTube channel. So if you are enjoying this video so far, consider subscribing. To kick off this video, I've decided that I am going to share why I decided to even try this experiment out. Why wake up at 5 a.m.? What are the benefits? Why did I come to this conclusion one day that, yep, I'm gonna wake up at 5 a.m. and that's gonna be what I do all week long? Now, as I said earlier in the video, I did actually read quite a few articles and blog posts around why CEOs or the most successful people in the world decide to wake up at 5 a.m. and why having that type of time in the morning is so valuable. And so that's kind of where I started the basis of all this. That's where I was like, okay, if all these successful people are waking up at 5 in the morning, I should give it a shot too. But right now, when I'm recording this video, London is still kind of in semi-lockdown and I'm working from home every day. So why should I wake up at 5 a.m.? Why should I have to get up earlier when I don't have a commute or I'm not rushing off to go anywhere? I'm just getting ready and coming to sit down at my desk and continue to work. So what made me decide to do this? Honestly, I'm already very much a morning person. So I like waking up in the morning. Before lockdown happened, before working from home, I actually totally went into the gym every morning and then I worked out and then I went into the office. And usually I was one of the first people in the office around 8:30 in the morning. And I just really like the mornings. I personally really love that I get up and I do things when people are still sleeping. So it makes me feel super accomplished before my day even starts. Now I know what you're thinking, and when I just said I'm a morning person, a lot of people are gonna say or comment down below, oh, I'm not a morning person. Actually, take a minute right here, stop. Put a comment down below if you think that you are not a morning person, so you're a night owl, or if you agree with me, let me know down below that you're also a morning person as well. So before we get into this whole controversy of are you a morning person or are you a night person or a night owl, let me just be really clear. As humans, before technology came into our lives, before electricity even came into our lives, we were waking up with the sun and going to sleep with the sunset. So that meant that in the morning when the sun rises, our bodies would naturally wake up and get up, do things, go out, hunt, gather, all those things we used to do as humans back before technology and the modern era. And then when the sun would go down, there would be no more light. So that meant that we would actually go to sleep because it was dark at night. So anyways, I just was really fascinated at this, that our bodies need to kind of work on this rhythm of being up with the sun and going to sleep with the sunset. And I was like, okay, there's a lot to that. And I totally agree. Like, why should we stay up into the wee hours of the night working really late when we're already tired and our body's telling us to go to sleep? So anyways, the reason I decided to try this experiment out is I had a lot of people tell me that, the most successful people in the world and CEOs who really want to make time for themselves woke up earlier to get things done before their day started. And then also, I just wanted to give myself more time. And everyone in the morning is usually sleeping between the hours of 5 and 7 or 5 and 8 a.m. And because of that, I quickly realized I had so much time to do things where people weren't texting me, where people were not calling me. It wasn't the start of the business day. So I could just do things that were just for me, which is honestly what everyone I think is trying to find time for, because we live such busy lives. And then the final reason to try this is because I've been told in scientific research that, we go to sleep with the sunset and we wake up with the sunrise. And I think a lot of people just think that because we have lights that we can just turn on and we can continue working, that we should continue working. But our bodies are designed a little bit differently. They breathe for us, you know what I mean? They're living for us without us even having to think about it. So we should really value sleep and go to sleep when it gets dark. So anyways, I'm gonna stop blabbering on about why I decided to do this experiment and actually give you guys some tips and tricks. So for all of those people that left a comment down below that said, oh, I'm actually a night owl and I'm not gonna be able to wake up early in the morning, I'm actually gonna give you guys a few tips and tricks today to get up early, get your day started at 5 a.m. My first tip for waking up at 5 a.m. includes things that you need to do the night before. Now, a lot of people think that waking up at 5 a.m. is actually the motivation and everything you need to do happens that morning, and that's not the case. I would highly recommend creating a nighttime routine. Now, what do I mean by a nighttime routine? So when you wake up in the morning, don't you think to yourself, okay, I get up, I maybe do some exercise, I take a shower, I then go out and start getting ready for my day, make my cup of coffee, etc., etc. All of that is a routine. It's our morning routine. And I think a lot of people forget to do a nighttime routine. And what do I mean by that? Well, a nighttime routine really means putting on your pajamas, brushing your teeth, washing your makeup off, maybe making a cup of tea that's like gonna help you go to sleep at night, reading a book, setting some mood lighting to go to sleep, maybe spraying your pillows with some, sleep helping sprays. And all of that is actually considered a nighttime routine. And I think a lot of people will continue to do things like watch TV or watch another YouTube video or whatever else it is. Like they'll continue working into the late hours of the evening, and then you don't really shut off, or you don't really take the time to wind down. So I would highly recommend, the first tip is to wind down and create a nighttime routine for yourself, much like you create a morning routine. So my second tip is actually another tip that happens the night before you actually even wake up at 5 a.m. And that would be to organize your life and organize your schedule for the next day. So usually what I do is before I shut off my laptop and before I stop working, I look at my schedule for the next day and the next morning. And I actually time block all my time and make sure that, okay, when I first wake up, this is what I want to do. The next thing I want to do is this hour of the morning, and then I want to go for a run, and then I want to make sure I shower and eat breakfast, and I have a to-do list of things I need to do for work when I first start the day. So what I'd highly recommend is before you go to sleep the night before, or before you shut off your laptop the night before, is to make a to-do list of your next day, and also to make sure you have plan that out in your calendar. I think a lot of people make to-do lists, and I think to-do lists are great. I think they're a great way to start, but a lot of times a to-do list just keeps sitting there. It keeps sitting in your inbox, it keeps sitting on your desk where you're like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and this today. But when you don't actually action something against a time, it's really hard to even do it, because you're like, where in the day will I find time to do this item? So what I'd suggest is creating a to-do list, and then going into your calendar and making sure that you actually put 30 minutes to read, or 10 minutes to have a cup of coffee, or whatever like that. It seems so like basic, but trust me, when it's in your calendar like that, you're gonna be like, okay, I've dedicated this time to do this. I've dedicated this time to get ready in the morning. I've dedicated this time to exercise. When you actually do that, you hold yourself accountable in some capacity, and then you are gonna do it. So what I'd recommend is making that to-do list the night before and kind of scheduling out your day. And if you don't wanna be so exact, just give like rough estimates of my first hour of the morning is exercise, whatever it may be, yoga, running, whatever. The next hour of my day is showering, getting ready, having a cup of coffee, eating my breakfast, etc. So just the night before, kind of plan all that out. And when you have that plan in the morning, when you're like, oh, what time is it? What day is it? You're super tired. You don't have to think. Like, your brain's not going to be turned on. You're not going to be super excited to get up and do everything and start planning. So the night before, when you have that plan already, all you have to do is either look at your calendar or turn on your laptop and you know exactly what you're supposed to do. And that kind of helps you get started with the day. So I'd highly recommend the night before, just make a list of to-do things that you have to do, as well as filling your calendar with whatever you have to do the next day, and that'll help you get jump started on the next day. So my third tip is to wake up with positive intentions. Now I know this sounds kind of corny, and a lot of people are probably going to be like, oh, it's not exactly my type of thing to do, but it makes a massive difference. I know a lot of people are like, where do you get the motivation to wake up so early? Or why are you waking up so early? Or what makes you drive to do that, especially when you could just roll out of bed and turn on your laptop and start working? So the thing is, when you wake up in the morning with positive intentions and you go out there and you feel like you can really do it, your mind is so much stronger than your body. So much stronger. Half the time when I wake up and I have to drag my butt out of bed to go to a spin class, I'm not really thinking like, oh, like, you know, this is going to be such a hard day, or this is so difficult for me. What I'm thinking is like, yeah, I can do this. I'm going to get up. I'm going to get this done. I'm going to get this accomplished, and it's going to make me a better, stronger person. Now, when you get up with those intentions, your mind is already going to force your body to do things. Now, for anyone who's ever worked out or run or anything that you can do with physical, you have to realize that your mind is actually the main reason you do something. So when you're running, you're like, oh, I'm so tired, I'm going to stop. When your mind does that, you actually stop. Or when you're lifting a certain weight, you're like, oh, I can't do this, it's too heavy. Your mind is actually telling your body to do that. So anyways, getting back to the topic of put positive intentions into your mind about waking up in the morning. So some examples are, I'm going to wake up early because I need to have more time for myself. Or I'm going to wake up early because I need to get things done and get things started. I need to wake up early because I want to spend time on my hobby or my craft or anything else. I want to wake up early so I can make lunch for my kids. I want to wake up early so I can have time to exercise. I'm going to wake up early to get stuff done before anyone else is awake. All of these positive intentions make a massive difference to getting up early. Like, you're not going to get up early if you wake up and think, oh, it's so early and dark and my bed is so warm and I'd rather just stay in bed. Of course you're not going to wake up and get out of bed then. So the best thing is to think about positive things that you want to accomplish by getting up early. So my fourth tip is going to include some of the things that I said earlier about the night before routine. So for my tip number 4, I would suggest actually cleaning up your house and cleaning up your space before you go to bed. Now, every time before I go to bed, I usually like to tidy up the house, whether it means straightening up the cushions on the couch, putting things in the dishwasher, wiping down the surfaces in the kitchen, whatever it is. I like to clean everything up so that it's organized and I have a clean environment to work in the next morning. No one's going to want to wake up and start to clean, for example. It's not what you want to do first thing in the morning. I mean, maybe there are some people out there that want to clean first thing in the morning, but it's really not what I want to do. I want to have a clean environment to sit down, to start working, to feel productive in. And I feel the most productive when I have a clean setup and a clean environment around me. And having that organized space really just makes me want to get up, get started with the day, and just really jumpstart on everything that I need to do on my to-do list, because I don't have to worry about cleaning because I'm not really in the mindset to do that right now. I'm in the mindset of getting things done when it comes to my career, when it comes to my YouTube channel, when it comes to anything and everything that is my personal choice of doing in the morning, and the last thing I want to do is clean. So when you have a clean environment, it's likely that you're going to sit down with positive intentions and a clear mind in order to get started. I think they say something like a clean house equals a clean mind or something like that. So whatever the saying is, just clean up your house the night before and I promise it'll help you feel more productive the next morning when you wake up at 5 a.m. So my fifth tip is actually to drink a lot of water when you wake up. So when you do go to sleep and sleep for 8 hours, a lot of the times you're just super dehydrated in the morning. So when I first wake up, I drink quite a bit of water that I have on my bedside table. And the reason I do this is because it kind of like wakes up my mind and just refreshes everything. Like, you're really dehydrated usually from sleeping, and you want that water, so you drink it, and then eventually it kind of just wakes up your mind and sparks that moment of where, okay, now I'm awake. So I would highly recommend just putting a glass of water or a bottle of water next to your bed, and the first thing you do when you wake up, actually, I do it even sometimes before I turn on the lights or even get started with my day. I just drink some water, and it kind of helps like start all my internal organs and just restarts my brain and says, okay, it's time to go. My sixth tip is to set one alarm and do not hit the snooze button or set multiple alarms. Now, I know this is kind of hard to fathom for a lot of people because a lot of us hit snooze. It is like built into our body, like, oh, 5 more minutes, I'll snooze for a few more minutes, I'll just sleep a little bit longer, no big deal. Now, that is so detrimental to you actually waking up at 5. What I would recommend is setting one alarm. And I know that's gonna scare some people. And if that does scare you, leave me a comment down below why that scares you, why setting one alarm is so scary. But if you set one alarm before you go to sleep, in your mind, you're telling your mind already before you go to sleep, I need to be up at this time. That's the alarm. That's it. Like, you're going to bed with that intention. Your mind is going to bed knowing that, okay, it's time to get up. It's not time to mess around. This is the only time I have to get up. And when you think about that, your mind is, again, so much stronger than your physical being. When your mind's like, okay, it's time to get up, you're gonna get up. It's as easy as that. So what I'd recommend is set one alarm, 5 a.m., and that's it. No snooze, no second alarm, because if you do set up a second alarm, your mind is gonna think, oh, actually, I have another alarm set for 5:30, so I can sleep for another 30 minutes. No, we're not gonna have any of that. 5 a.m., that's it. Set that alarm, go to sleep, wake up. Tip number 7 is to set your phone on Do Not Disturb and place it away from you. Now, I know some people who place it on the other side of the room or in a different room than their bedroom. More power to you if that's what you like to do, but I personally just put it on Do Not Disturb from a certain hour of the evening, 8 p.m. actually to be exact, and it is placed on my bedside table, and I usually am reading or watching something on my iPad, but I'm not checking my social medias, I'm not texting anyone, I'm not calling anyone. My phone is on Do Not Disturb, and it's far away from my reach, so I don't get tempted to look at it or scroll late into the evening. Honestly, how many people are scrolling late into the evening and then it's just like scroll, 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 whether it's on TikTok or Instagram, and you're just scrolling endlessly, and then it's like midnight and you're like, where did the time go? So all I can say is putting your phone on Do Not Disturb. First of all, it keeps any sort of notifications pinging on your phone so you're not distracted. But secondly, because it's like Do Not Disturb and far away from you, you tend to forget about it, and that's actually the best option for you, because when you have it a little bit further away from you, you're not going to be tempted to be like, ooh, did someone comment? Did someone like my photo, etc. So anyways, just put your phone on Do Not Disturb so no one can reach you, and then put it to the side, because now it's time to sleep and it's not time to look at your phone. Tip number 8 is actually to go to bed early. Now, you might be thinking, Anika, that is so obvious. I agree, it is obvious, but a lot of people don't put it into practice. And I honestly didn't put it into practice until I realized what early meant. Now, I go to sleep around 9 p.m. every night. Roughly, that's when I fall asleep, and then I wake up at roughly 5 a.m., which is what is about 8 hours of sleep per night, what is recommended for us to sleep. But to go to sleep at 9 means I have to like brush my teeth, do my nighttime routine, get ready for bed as early as 8 o'clock. Now, I think people think that's crazy because some people are having dinner then, but remember, you're getting up 3 to 4 hours before most people are getting up. So why should you have to stay up 3 to 4 hours later, meaning going to sleep at 10 or 11 o'clock? You actually should be in bed way sooner and doing your nighttime routine anywhere from 7:30 to 8:30 at night so you can fall asleep by 9. So what I usually do is I start to wind down around 7:30 p.m. and I'll start putting on my pajamas, brushing my teeth, getting ready for bed, and I'm usually in bed no later than 8:30, and I'll either read, I'll watch a YouTube video, whatever the case is, I'll do that earlier so that I can actually wind down and go to sleep no later than 9 p.m. So just think about when you want to wake up. I want to wake up at 5 a.m. So if I want to wake up at 5 a.m., I'm going to have to go to sleep at 9 p.m. in order to get 8 hours of sleep. So just go back in the clock and think about when you need to go to sleep. But also think, when you need to go to sleep, you need to give yourself at least 30 minutes, if not an hour, to really wind down in bed. I don't know about you, but I'm not the type of person to instantly fall asleep. And because that's the case, I basically have to give myself a little bit more time to really just relax. And that's why I get into bed at 8:30 to give myself 30 minutes to an hour to wind down. So just consider that. When you go to bed early, I don't mean get in bed at 9, because that's not going to work. You need to be asleep, meaning you need to be sleeping and in La La Land by 9 p.m. to wake up at 5. So I'd suggest getting into bed around 8 or 8:30 p.m. Tip number 9 is to wake up and do some sort of exercise. I know, crazy, mind-blowing tip, but it is important. I think that a lot of people think, oh, I'm going to work out in the evening, or I'm going to work out in the middle of the day during my lunch hour. It's actually amazing what our bodies can do in the morning, and also what we're designed to do. Like when we wake up and work out, we're kickstarting our metabolism, we're kickstarting our day, we're getting that instant rush of adrenaline that's really going to give us that motivation and that positivity to get on with our day. And I think that a lot of people underestimate that motivation and positivity that comes from exercise. And why wouldn't you want that first thing in the morning? So I would recommend waking up and working out, because then suddenly you're going to have a boost of endorphins. You're going to feel like so accomplished, and you're going to feel like you can do anything in the world. And when you have that feeling, waking up at 5 a.m. seems like, no big deal, because I can do anything. You're going to want to get up early in the morning and get that workout in, so you have that adrenaline running through your body the rest of the morning to get everything else on your to-do list done. So I'd recommend thinking of something that you want to do workout-wise in the morning. Now, it doesn't have to be super over the top. It can be yoga if you're a yogi, or running, which is something I've recently taken up, or, even like an at-home workout, or even if your gyms are open, going to the gym and working out and then coming back to start your day. You feel so refreshed and so ready. Like, come on, you guys, you know that feeling. It's that endorphin kick. And when you have that endorphin kick first thing in the morning, once you've got it, you can then harness it to do other things, whether it's writing your next chapter of your book, or starting a YouTube channel, or writing a blog post. Whatever it is, that endorphin rush is going to help you find the motivation to continue doing the things you love after you've had that workout. So my final tip to share with you guys today is actually creating a wake up schedule or wake up plan. Now, I know that sounds repetitive of what I said earlier, but it is kind of tied into what I said about making a to-do list the night before. All I recommend is the next morning is blocking out some time for the things you want to do. When you wake up at 5 a.m., what's the first thing you want to do? Okay, you want to read for 15 minutes. Cool. Put it in your calendar. Read 15 minutes. All right, the next thing you want to do from 6 to 6:30 is run for 30 minutes. Cool. Put it in your calendar. Run for 30 minutes. And then I want to get ready, eat breakfast, maybe listen to a podcast. Put all that into your calendar. 1 hour, podcast, get ready. Have a cup of coffee, eat breakfast. Whatever it is you want to do, put it into your calendar so you have a schedule and you know where your time is going. So when you wake up with that kind of schedule, you're going to be like, okay, I have to get up. I have to wake up at 5 a.m. because I need to do X, Y, and Z today before I even start my day. If you think about it, when you go into the office, a lot of times you have meeting schedules, or you have a certain time of the day where you need to be in this location. And that's natural. Like, we have to be in the office by 9 a.m. So if you have a schedule that you keep for work, why not keep a schedule for your 5 a.m. routine? So I'd recommend from 5 a.m. to whenever you have to be in the office, let's say 9 a.m., or whenever you have to be at school, or whenever you have to do anything that's external to your time, schedule that time. So every 30 minutes or every hour of that 5 to 9 a.m., put in things you want to do, whether it's running, whether it's yoga, whether it's writing a book, starting a YouTube channel, whatever it is. Like, for example, this morning, my intention was to wake up, work out, get ready, and record this video. So all of that actually was in my schedule, already lined up, and I knew I had to do it, and that's why I'm doing it. Right, now that I've given you all my tips and tricks on how I wake up at 5 a.m. every day, the question that comes to mind is, am I going to still wake up every day at 5 a.m.? Now, that's a tough question. I'm not going to lie. After doing it for a few weeks, it does have its benefits. I'm not going to lie. Having all that time is super important, but it also has its downfalls where it's kind of difficult for me to continue on, and will I really keep going? So first of all, yes, I will keep going during the weekdays. I think it's super exciting and important and really just life-changing to have a schedule that starts at 5 a.m. on a work day. Now, I live alone, so it's super easy for me to actually plan my own schedule and do things on my own time. So waking up at 5 a.m., I don't really disturb anyone, and I don't really throw off anyone else's sleep or wake up schedule. So it's really easy for me. Now, if you live with a partner or family members, it might be a little bit trickier to wake up at 5 a.m. or even go to sleep super early. I think a lot of times when you live with other people, they're gonna wanna do things in the evening, and it's hard to really find the time to do that. So I would say you need to have a conversation with your partner or with the people you live with and make them understand that this is the sleep schedule that you follow. Now, I think it's kind of difficult for me to do this at the weekend because I have different plans. I'm not as scheduled on the weekend. So I don't think I'm going to wake up every day at 5 a.m. on the weekend. But I think Monday to Friday, following this schedule really gives me the time to do the creative things that I love, like creating YouTube videos or writing blog posts. So I think for weekday purposes, I will continue to wake up at 5 a.m. and push myself to be more productive in the morning. But for the weekends and when I spend time with loved ones, I don't see myself really doing that because I don't want to force anyone else to follow my schedule of waking up super early in the morning, because it's not for everyone, like I said. But you know what? Giving it a chance and really trying it out can make a massive difference. Honestly, it can change the way you see the world and how you actually are productive in the morning hours. So I'd highly recommend giving it a shot. Follow my tips and tricks in this video and let me know if it works for you. Cool, you've made it now to the end of my video and you must be a loyal viewer. So if you aren't already subscribed, please do consider subscribing. I upload 2 times a week on Sundays and Wednesdays, and the next video I have going up is actually financial advice for your 30s, and I think that's going to be a really exciting video of me sharing my tips and tricks on, your finances as you get older. So if you're interested in that type of content, please do subscribe and turn on the bell notification so you know when the video goes live. Anyways, I hope you guys got some good tips and tricks on how to wake up at 5 a.m. and I hope you're having a good day, week, month, wherever you are in the world, and I hope to catch you guys in my next video. Bye!